Was the kind of person that did not have boundaries, the kind of person that would do everything for everybody else, put myself last, the kind of person that believed that everybody else deserved to have all these great things, and if it came down to me suffering and the person succeeding, well, I would just suffer so that person could succeed. Later on in life, I realized, okay, let me start creating boundaries. Let me start limiting my access to people. Let me start putting myself first. It matters how I feel too. We can both feel good, right? And it's like they say, when you first start doing this, you will start going dramatically, meaning like instead of you almost like a pendulum swing, you will have no boundaries at all whatsoever and do everything for everybody. Be this person that's always the suffering person, right? Always a moderate, right? Crazy, insane. And then you'll swing all the way to the far left, right? And now you'll become the person that is far back from people. You limit your access. You start being like, nope, nope, nope. So if you used to say yes all the time on this side, now you're saying no all the time to everything. Almost like overly saying no all the time. And that's exactly where I was. I was right there. And people talk about boundaries and all this other stuff all the time, but what they didn't talk about was the fact that after it's a space, right? There's a space that in this space, when you are not having boundaries and you're saying yes to everybody and you're always needed and you always doing your value is in needed, being needed all the time. That's the space that's right here. What happens is when you start saying no and you start creating boundaries and you start limiting your access to people and you start really like speaking up for yourself, and all of a sudden it matters how you feel. It matters. You matter. You start mattering more to yourself. That space now is wide open, right? I had a lot of time. People would ask me to do stuff and watch their kids or do this and that. I would go drop a dime in my hat when I was on this side of the pendulum. And I would just get up and go. And I'd be tired and I would feel passive aggressive because I'm like, I would get mad at myself at the end of it. Now on this side over here on the pendulum swing, I was saying no, nope, can't do it. Just wouldn't answer my phone. Like, nope, no thank you. But the issue that would happen, not the issue, something that I'm still working on too, is there's a middle area now where there's all this space, all this time. And now I'm like, well, what do I do? I asked for them to give me time, give me space, limited access, backed up and started saying no instead of just saying yes when I wanted to be the nice person. And now I'm really limiting that and showing people that I'm a human being and I have limitations and I can't do everything. But the issue that came in was I realized as I took a step back, I created my whole identity around being needed. That was all my value with them and with myself. And I realized, hold up, I created all this space for what? What did I create? I have all this space to do. What am I doing with it? And I started to see, what I started to realize was because I didn't know what to do with all this space that I now have, I started to allow this side of this version of myself, the pendulum swing, to creep right back in because why not? Right? So if I said no before watching the kids and all those other stuff, all of a sudden now I missed them. All of a sudden now I'm missing this version of myself, this middle of being needed. And I'm like, if I'm not being needed, then who am I? Right? So I started going back to what I felt more comfortable with. And I started to say yes sometimes. And I started to, okay, yeah, I'll watch the kids. Oh, yeah, I'll go do this for you. Yeah, why not? Because what else am I doing? Yeah, I'll go to the store for you. Okay, yes, I'll do this for you. Why not? Yeah. Because again, what else am I doing? And I remember me and my softness sister, we had a talk and she was saying to me, the whole point of you making more time, like now that you have all that time, instead of you thinking about the future, like, yeah, right now you're not doing nothing, but are you not doing something? Like, and what would you want to be doing? Now it's about you, and you can do whatever you want to do. It's not limited or trapped in somebody else's whatever they need. And I'm like, yes. Because I started to see the old version of me trying to creep back up because, again, I wasn't filling this up with anything. It was just nothing. You get me? I hope that makes sense. And so what happened is I started to get, because the pendulum swing, of course, you already know it swings back and forth, and then it goes right there to the middle. And it's because it then becomes balanced. So I had to get more balance to realize I miss my nieces and nephews. So I won't say no all the time. Then I'll say yes. But also not going to answer my phone all the time and have full access. Well, long story short, I started to get more balanced. Okay. And now I'm beginning more to be in the middle. I'm still getting back, inching back or to this one a little bit. So I'm trying to get back into being more stable again because I realized that because my husband's gone now, I have all this time and it's so easy. It is so easy to cling back to the identity of what I know, to be like, let me fill my time up with all this and all this and all this and all this and all this. And I'm trying to give myself a healthy diet of not clinging back to what I know. I'm trying to give myself a healthy, not restriction, but some kindness and some love to let myself rest. Let myself have those moments to myself, whatever it is, you know. Even if it's just moments of growth. I love doing growth and self-development. Even if it's just moments of self-development and growth. I know I want to lose weight, looking at that kind of stuff. What do I want? Sometimes when you're a person that's always needed and always doing stuff for a lot of people all the time, that's not an easy question to answer. It's not an easy question to answer when somebody says, what do you like? What do you want? It's not easy to answer that question. I know years ago I had a friend. I remember I first met her and she was like, can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah. And she was like, what's your favorite color? Y'all, I could not answer that question for the life of me. I was like, I don't have a favorite color. So what do you mean? I was like, I don't really know that answer. And she was like, oh. And I said, am I supposed to know the answer? And she was like, I don't know. She's like, I feel like it's linked to something else, but do you want to explore it? Because she was like a coach with me too. We would practice with each other. And I was like, yeah. So as we practiced, like she basically was trying to tell me like, what we ended up finding out was me not knowing my color, right? Was this a symptom of the truth of I don't really know myself that well? And I think that stands true. I think that when you're a person that's always needed and always doing stuff for other people, it's almost like you quiet you down. I know I would always, exalt other people and what they needed. If I'm not there, who's going to help them? Blah, blah, blah. You feel like everything's an emergency to do everything. And like as I got more into my softness, more into my femininity, I realized everything is not an emergency. I don't do well with emergencies. I always tell people that, and that was my diet as I got more into my softness and more into my femininity to calm my nervous system down. I don't do well with emergencies. I do great in planning. If you got a plan, let's go for it. You got an emergency, don't call me. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go faster. I'm not going to speed. I'm going to slower. I'm going to take my time. So you probably don't want to call me. And people stopped calling me when I started taking my time and it helped them because I'm like, no, or backing out, reneging for emergencies because I don't do well with emergencies. Not anymore. Whereas before I did. When I was on this side of the pendulum swing, yeah, I did. Everything was an emergency. But yeah, that's what I'm realizing. It's not easy. And I'm still struggling this now. That's to make this video just to kind of be air it out. I'm still struggling with the fact that I don't want to go back to this side of the pendulum. And I noticed myself trying to do that a little bit, with stuff. I'm like, answering calls. Well, why not? Well, why not watch them? Well, why not do that? Why not? Because I'm tired. That's enough. And sometimes I'm not tired. Sometimes I don't have nothing to do. But I don't want to fix it up or fill it up with what I feel comfortable in. That old identity. Because I know where that takes me and I know where that ends. I think that's the thing about having no identity is that sometimes I know myself, we kind of psych ourselves out to kind of be like, well, why not? When it's like, the ending of this, girl. My love, the ending of this. And it doesn't end well. Not for you. Maybe for other people, but not for you. It doesn't. When I was in that stage of always doing everything for everybody, I was so depleted. And I was not in the great position. Very passive aggressive. Very much of saying when to say no, but okay, well, you need me. Well, it's an emergency. If I don't do it, you're just gonna it's gonna be terrible for you. Never thinking about me though, and how I feel. And now my pendulum balance in the middle now. Again, I'm still figuring this out because I'm still leaning over here too. Is there's a way that we can both feel good. There's a way that we can both come to something that you want and I want in negotiation. And sometimes if there's a choice between you feeling good or me feeling good, well, why can't it be me? Back in the day, I would always say, well, if somebody got to feel good, girl, go ahead and just feel good. I would pick the other person. But now, as I sit here today, no. If somebody's going to feel good, I'm like, well, why not be me? What the heck? No. If I can't, I can't. I'm not sorry about it. It's not my job to, to do certain things. But yeah, I know my stuff and I know your stuff. I'm more clear on that. But yeah, I just am making sure I'm more aware. And this week I'm going to make sure I become more aware of me not trying to fill up this void of my husband being gone and having other stuff happen right now. I got other stuff that I got to worry about school. Not worry about. There's no reason to worry. But to think on is about, homeschooling the kids and stuff. But just not trying to go back to what I seem comfortable or what I deem my value in. you know, to fill whatever's going on with me, any void, any spectrum that's happening with myself right now while I'm still in the season of missing him and him gone and stuff. In this lost season, this new season that I've never been in, I don't want to let myself have any excuses to go back when I know where that takes me and where it leads me and what version of that creates in me, what version I become to survive that. I don't want that anymore. So, yeah. I don't even know what I'm gonna name this video. But I love you and goodbye.